The Chicago Bulls of the 1990s are one of the most dominant teams of all time. 6 championships in 8 years and an everlasting impact on the game. But if you've watched the Last Dance documentary, you will know that all of this success was made possible by one of their star players being severely underpaid. Although Scottie Pippen's contract was the cause of much friction and controversy towards the end of his tenure with the Chicago Bulls, it was also the reason why the Bulls were able to build such a dominant squad around the talents of Michael Jordan. Pippen was widely regarded as the second best player in the league at the time. However, he was the 6th most highest paid player on the team and the 122nd ranked player in the NBA when it came to salary. So what's the real reason that he was so underpaid, and why could this never happen in the NBA today? I'm Mo, you're watching Hoop Genius, so hit that subscribe button because we're about to break it down. To understand how the NBA works, you need to know about the salary cap. If you're a beginner and you don't really know what that is, it is something that is very, very complex, but I'm going to break it down for you in the simplest and quickest way possible.
Firstly, what is the salary cap? It's the amount of money that teams are allowed to spend on paying their players. Why does the NBA have a salary cap? It keeps a level playing field, so rich owners and big markets can't sign all of the best players and dominate, unlike other sports such as the Premier League, where richest teams always seem to be at the top. Where does the NBA salary cap come from? Basketball-related income. This is TV deals, merchandise, tickets, sponsorships, advertising and other sources. How does the NBA decide the salary cap? All teams pull together their annual revenue and redistribute it equally. When is the salary cap decided? It changes every year. The salary cap for the 2019-2020 season was just over $109 million.
So now that you have an extremely simplified understanding of what the salary cap is, let's take a look at some of the contract types available for players in the NBA.
When a player is drafted into the league, a rookie scale contract is the initial contract between a team and its first round draft pick. The contract must be for 2 years with a team option for both the 3rd and 4th years.
After that contract is up, the players are free to go into free agency and negotiate with teams whatever contract they feel they're worth. For the example of this video, we're going to look at only the top level contracts.
Players with 0 to 6 years of experience can earn a max contract worth 25% of the salary cap. 7 to 9 years of experience can earn a max contract worth 30%, and players with 10 plus earn a max contract worth 35% of the salary cap, with the maximum length of these contracts being 5 years.
Scottie was picked 5th in the NBA draft, so let's use a recent number 5 pick as an example.
Trae Young was the 5th pick in the 2018 NBA draft, and he signed a 3-year, $18 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks, with a team option for the 4th year. Given that he's already been an all-star starter in just his 2nd season, it can be expected that the Hawks will offer him a max contract. As he's got less than 6 years of experience, they can offer him a max contract worth 25% of the salary cap, growing by the maximum 8% each season. Using this year's cap as an example, he would be in line to make just over $27 million for the first season in a contract that lasts 5 years. The starting figure could increase from 25% to 30% of the cap if he makes an All-NBA team, meaning that over the first 8 years of his career, he should make at least $180 million.
If Scottie Pippen played in the modern NBA, this would be the scenario in which he found himself in. He would earn more from his first 2 contracts in the league than he did over the entire course of his career playing in the 1990s. This was, however, not the case, as the 6-time champion earned only $20 million over his first 11 seasons in the league. Let's have a look at why this was the case.
On August 1st, 1987, he signed a 4-year, $2.83 million contract with Chicago. And then, on June 17th, 1991, he signed a 7-year, $18 million contract extension.
But why was he able to sign such a long-term deal when current players in the NBA can't sign for 7 years? Firstly, the financial structure of the NBA in the 90s was very different. None of the rules that protect both owners and players from bad contracts existed back in 1991. There was a salary cap, but unlike today, where there are different types of contracts and lots of rules and regulations, teams only had one objective, and the rule was to stay below the salary cap. There were no maximum salaries for players and there were no maximum contract lengths. Even the rookie scale contracts didn't exist back then, and all of this led to some of the strangest contracts we've ever seen in sports.
After being picked first in the 1993 NBA draft, Chris Webber signed a 15-year rookie contract with the Golden State Warriors that had an opt-out after the first season.
Contracts didn't even need to include actual salary numbers.
David Robinson's deal with the San Antonio Spurs guaranteed that he would be paid the average of the 2 highest paid players in the NBA every season.
Pippen's deal may have seemed good at first.
He was the 16th highest paid player in the league during his first season. The current 16th highest player in the NBA is Gordon Hayward, but Pippen did not account for inflation. By the final year of his contract, he was the 122nd highest paid player in the league. The modern day equivalent is Andre Robertson. The salary cap during the 1991 season was only around $11.9 million. By the time his final season with the Bulls rolled around, it had more than doubled to $26.9 million, and this was almost his own fault, as the Bulls had become so popular around the world that basketball-related income had skyrocketed. The 1990 NBA Finals averaged around 17.2 million viewers, but the 1998 NBA Finals, his last with the Bulls, averaged over 29 million. That increased popularity led to the league's first true salary cap boom, and it took place almost entirely throughout Pippen's contract. His own agents and even the Bulls owner advised Scottie against taking a deal, but why was he so adamant in signing long term?
Now, I don't think anyone can blame him for taking the money, because 18 million is still 18 million. That's a big bag.
Scottie was one of 12 children, and at a young age he saw his father suffer a stroke and become paralysed, so you can see why in his eyes he wanted the financial security.
Now, we all know that tomorrow is never promised, and especially in an industry like sports, where you rely on your physical health to get paid, you can understand why he wanted the long-term financial security.
In the end, it all worked out. He won 6 titles with the Bulls, then went on to sign a 5-year, $67 million deal with the Houston Rockets. The Bulls must have also felt bad, as they gave him a 2-year, $10 million deal to finish his career in Chicago at the age of 38. His total career earnings from the NBA alone stand at $109,957,430, and he also signed an endorsement deal with Nike, releasing some all-time underrated sneakers, as well as sponsorships from other major companies like McDonald's, Right Guard, and Coca-Cola.
However, his bad record with finances apparently continued to follow him, as he's reportedly blown away over $120 million on irresponsible financial decisions.
One of those decisions was purchasing a $4 million jet that didn't even work and having to spend over another $1 million to repair it.
He's also reported to have made a series of bad financial investments, which has left a huge dent in his pocket. However, his current net worth stands at around $50 million, so the bag was not entirely fumbled. Comment below, do you think that without Pippen's tiny contract, the Chicago Bulls would have still been able to build such a good squad around Michael Jordan, and would they have still won all 6 of those championships? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell as well, so you get a notification every time that we drop a video. Make sure you're following Hoop Genius on Instagram and Twitter. We're active, we're everywhere. But make sure you guys stay home, stay healthy, stay safe, and most of all, get buckets.